to address you. So, in about how many people are there? 30 people. Wonderful. Wonderful. So, when do you want me to address? To start? Can I start already now, or do you want me later? Ah, okay, good. If this is the case, then let me address you. No, I don't see you. I saw a little beer. Now, do you see me? Good. Thank you. Okay. Well, Mr. De Benedetti, President Together to Go Foundation, Madame Nage Benedetti, Together to Go Foundation, Antonia Mandela Noya, Chairman Together to Go Foundation, and last but not least, Dr. Paolo Lazzati, President of Mariani Foundation. Dear audience, Together to Go and the Mariani Foundation. It is one of my great honor and pleasure to open up this wonderful event which you are going to mark, by which you are going to mark the opening of the To Go clinic. I want you to know that I consider this as one of the great developments which clinical work to be done with children of greatest need will be done by a group of people who are both research-oriented, such as the Mariani Foundation, with whom we had the opportunity to work for almost 30 years, and the To Go, Together to Go Foundation, which will use all the research possible in order to ensure the best treatment, the most hopeful treatment for those children who are in need. I want you to know that each time I was involved in an institution, I was very careful and very hopeful that it will not become what many institutions are custodial care programs. Custodial care programs means parents, unhappy parents, not knowing what to do with their child, bring the child to the clinic where no one is inspiring them with hope that something can be done. I know hundreds of such custodial care programs. Here comes an organization, a Together to Go, which is representing both by using the best of what can be done for the child, which is made possible by research. And today, more than ever, this may give not just hope, but may give the tools for helping the children. And I consider this event as its greatest pleasure, because the hope is today possible, more possible than any times. Let me tell you, as somebody who was working now for the last 60 years and more with special children from all parts of the world, I was deliberately an optimist. I said, I need these children in their best condition. I will not let them be what they are, mentally defective, all kind of emotional and physical problems. I will fight for them and enable them to become good members of society, happy members of society, and contributors to society. I did it, you know why? Because I feel the need. These children whom I have treated 50 years ago, 55 years ago, were children who were the survivors of the Holocaust. 1.5 million children were destroyed, literally destroyed in the most terrible, cruel way. Those who survived it, they were those few who survived, and I could not allow, and I could not accept the fact that these children will also be in some way lost because they do not have the proper care, or because we don't believe that they will be able ever to make it. It is then that I developed a need to help. The need, it's created in me a hope, a belief system that this help is indeed possible. And this belief system has created an ingenuity which has made me develop a theory of structural cognitive modifiability. But I must admit, I spoke about this as a postulate, as a belief system, as I believed. And people were asking me, sir, what does belief have to do with science? And I have said, the science of man needs belief. If you want to do something for human beings, believe that it is possible. Well, for many years, I had to fight. I was very happy to now work with Mariani. I was very happy with the work which our chairman has done with us, and so many other members in the Italian community have been following our belief. And happily, and I'm really grateful to say that we were able to help many, many children considered usually as not to be unhelpful, not to be helped. Well, you are coming now to open a clinic at a time which is the best time, because science has shown that the brain of the human being and the genes of the human being are not fixed. They can be modified. They can be changed. Their new neurons can be produced. Neurons can be modified. Synapses can become multiplied in a very, very meaningful way to the tens of thousands, to the hundreds of thousands. And by this, a very active brain is produced. and people who have lost parts of their brain, as we have had a number of them, children who have been hemispherectomized, have been under the special help which we offered them, able to reach to a high level of functioning. And the fact that we can produce today genetic changes in our genes, and as I have said, it's one of our newspaper people in Le Monde wrote, pour Feuerstein, les chromosomes n'ont pas le dernier mot. For Feuerstein, the chromosomes do not have the last word. They can be modified. And today, science, brain science, neuroplasticity brings the evidence for this great hope and great possibility. So it's a time when we dare to say the environment may act in a much more successful way in helping children than it was ever believed to be. Once, under the times of those who didn't believe it, such as Jensen, such as Arthur Jensen, or Miller and Feuerstein, they said, well, you cannot modify the brain, and therefore people who are functioning because of their genetic, because of their special chromosomal condition, they will never be able to go beyond their level of functioning. Well, today we know the level of functioning of a child is condition of this brain is dependent strongly on the activities which are imposed on the brain. If you impose on the brain an activity which will require the development of new neurons will be there. If something happens to the brain and certain destruction has happened in certain part of the brain, certain neurons can be replaced. The remapping phenomena is a very important one. Let me give you an example. One of our youngsters, whose half of the brain was taken out, was able then to learn to speak and to learn to read and to learn to write, and is now today a normal young man, despite the great damage done to his brain by taking away the left hemisphere, because he was very epileptic. So you have today a great capacity to do what previously was considered to be impossible. You have the possibility to change the brain of the child, affected child, whether inborn, whether genetic, whether through injury, you name it. You can change it by giving the child the type of activity which are known to increase the number of neurons, to change the number of neurons. There are stem cells which are developing themselves. And there is the whole issue of neurotransmitters, the kinds of neurotransmitters which are affected by your activity. If you take a child and teach him to learn and teach him to use whatever he is involved in, whatever he has asked for, in a more systematic way. And if you as teachers, as parents, as clinicians, are taking care that these functions are really understood, really learned, really dominated, then you should know you have changed the brain, and the things that you have done are structural in the sense that they will perpetuate themselves. They will be able to go beyond to the various typical points, to generalize themselves over a variety of functions. Such a time is the most beautiful time to start the two go together. That's the time when you will be able to inspire the hope and the understanding of how we, parents, we teachers, we neighbors, can affect the brain of the child and make him become as close as possible to the normalcy and become a contributive member of society. From this point of view, you are just born in a most beautiful time, and I congratulate you for choosing the time to open such an enterprise as yours, where you will be able to impart optimism to all those which will look for it. So all I can say, I envy you, but I know that you will be able to use some of our special programs who are developed over 50 years, but they were developed as a function of the hope. I hoped to be able to do it, to help children, and indeed it became possible. So what can I tell you? I would like to ask you a great favor. Let me be a part of your wonderful initiative. Let our international center, the Feuerstein Center, be a partner. I hope tomorrow you will hear my son, who comes specially to present you with the type of programs which we are going to share with you and train in whatever way possible. We are looking for this as to one of the great achievements of our work, and we hope through the collaboration with the Mariani Foundation, as it was over years and years, and through our wonderful direct clinical work with To Go, we will be able to become a real paradigm for many other clinics. No more just custodial care programs. No more just having the child sit there and have his comfort, but not have his development. Here we are offering these children ways to develop and become members of society, contributive members of society, eventually bringing the most inventive and most creative things into our world. So I wish you great success and gratification to Mr. Benedetti, to Ms. Jade Neige, to the chairman who has worked with us for so many years. And I wish it also to the president of the Mariani Foundation, Dr. Paolo Lazzati, and I wish ourselves a wonderful continuity of our friendship, of our collaboration and cooperation for the benefit of the children we will help. There's nothing better than to give help to children. May God help us to succeed. Thank you. Thank you for everything. Give my best to all the participants and tell them that I hope to be able to receive them in Israel and then face to face to be able to see the kind of cooperation which we can offer and which should offer. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.